Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hello.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
Hello, senor.
That's cultural appropriation. And I am your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment, and Jen Maxie says moo. Mashisu says moo. Is there an inside joke I'm missing?
Well, there's no fucking in front of it, so I'm lost.
That's true. Yeah, without tailed feature here, it just doesn't quite count. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is having a good week so far. Now we got Moon Base. Moon. Yeah. So, how are you guys? How are you, Satsu?
I'm good, senor. Muy bueno.
Did you have Mexican food today or something?
No, senor.
Okay. Monkey, would you like to assume an ethnic tone for the sake of your hello?
I'm just going to go with my normal American Irish, thanks.
Is that Irish somewhere in there?
It's in there.
Sure, the Gorda or something.
It's American Irish.
It's hidden behind the misery.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, I'm fine. Relatively quiet day, thankfully. Nothing horrible. Just work as per work. Let's see. Now, you guys don't stream tonight, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I still don't have your schedule down. I know it changes from time to time. Thank you, Snubbirth. I'm in a extremely liberal college library with headphones. Say something problematic, Scribe. Something problematic. Are you going to repeat it out loud if I say it? Because I don't want to get you killed. Before that, thank you, Diesel Dave. What up, fuck sticks? Wow, that's pleasant. Thank you, Dave. Something problematic in a liberal college library.
I like freedom of speech.
There was no collusion. Just say that and see what happens, I guess.
Trump is your president.
Trump is your president. Or Bernie's not going to win. Something
Hypocrisy is not a virtue.
No, careful now.
White guy.
Let's see. Well, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you have not already, and a whole lot of you have not. Don't understand it. You show up, you know what you're going to get when you get here, because we have a format, but we're relatively consistent in quality. Take that how you will, and yet you don't like the stream as soon as you get here. I don't get it. But
it boggles the brain.
And please share our stuff, far, wide, and otherwise. Even though YouTube keeps sending me these little newsletters telling me about all the features, like this is how you'll grow your audience and everything else, I still have people telling me they don't get notifications when a new video gets popped up or anything else. Not just from me, from a whole bunch of people. So please, guys, be sure to retweet or share or like or post on Facebook or whatever. If there's a content creator whose stuff you like and you think they need more attention, do that, because that's way better than anything YouTube seems to be doing for the rest of us. Well, with that, shall we get into the schnuzz?
Schnuzz.
Sure, let's do that.
Listen to that enthusiasm, guys.
I'm doing my best, man.
I know. I'm just
doing my best. This is my best enthusiasm.
I'm just kidding. Maybe I'll be able to work your mojo up with some of the stories we'll talk about. Per the title, let's talk about Trump and Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I don't know. President Trump meets with Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey after accusing the platform of bias, which is absolutely demonstrably true. But we'll see what happens here. President Donald Trump met with Twitter chief executive Jack Dorsey on Tuesday, hours after Trump erroneously accused the social media company of discriminatory behavior toward conservative users.
Yeah, they have employees.
erroneously accused the social media company.
They literally admitted it. They said it out of their own mouths. They said, yes, we do this.
They said we have a bias.
Yeah, and that wasn't a quote there. That was the author of this article talking.
Oh, I know.
The meeting, first reported by Vice, was confirmed by Trump, who tweeted a photo of the meeting. Quote, lots of subjects discussed regarding their platform and the world of social media in general, Trump wrote. Look forward to keeping an open dialogue, unquote. Thank you, Diesel Dave. I was listening to Monkey in the Morning and wanted to tell Monkey so many times. Well,
hold on. Does Jack Dorsey realize that he is now conspiring with the alt-right?
Well, that's what I kept seeing all over Twitter when I first woke up here is, why aren't they calling Dorsey alt-right? And I'm like, what the fuck did I miss?
Yeah, he met with, like, alt-right supreme.
Hitler.
Hold on. In a statement, a Twitter spokesperson said, quote, Jack had a constructive meeting with the President of the United States today at the President's invitation. They discussed Twitter's commitment to protecting the health of the public conversation ahead of the 2020 U.S. elections and efforts underway to respond to the opioid crisis, unquote. What? I'm not saying it's impossible. I am dying to know how Twitter is going to help respond to the opioid crisis. Among others in the room, Trump was accompanied by Dan Scavino, the White House director of social media and a longtime Trump aide who frequently posts for him on Twitter. Oh, Dorsey was accompanied by Vijaya Gadde, Twitter's head of legal policy and trust and safety. Oh, that's the same pair that was on Joe Rogan, wasn't it? Him and her.
Yeah.
For years, prominent Republicans and right-wing media personalities have repeatedly made unfounded accusations that Twitter and other social media platforms are biased against conservative. Okay.
Twitter raises their hand. Hey, we do this. Conservatives are like, they said they do that. That's unfounded. There's no way you can prove that.
Diesel corrects himself. He says he wanted to yell at Monkey this morning so many times on his show. I don't know what you talked about. Maybe we'll talk about that later. And then Snubber 13, thank you, Rebel Yell. Oh, well, Diesel Dave is Southern, so I don't know. Erroneously accused, unfounded accusations. Did you watch the Joe Rogan interview? Person who wrote this? Who wrote this? This was Oliver Darcy at CNN. I'm not quite sure what you mean by I'm more curious as to how you wait, that's right, you're a journalist, not an investigator. I forgot. Never mind. Let's see. Trump has amped up such accusations since he took office, based on what Jack himself has said, I think. Earlier on Tuesday, for instance, Trump tweeted that Twitter is, quote, very discriminatory, unquote, and does not, quote, treat me well as a Republican, unquote. I don't know what that means. Of all the people that get the most play on Twitter, I think Trump is probably one who kind of bypasses some of the otherwise selective editing that Twitter does. The president said it was, quote, hard for people to sign on, unquote, and accused the company of, quote, constantly taking people off list, unquote. Well, that part I don't know. Quote, no wonder Congress wants to get involved, and they should, Trump added in a tweet, must be more and fairer companies to get out the word, unquote. Trump's meeting with Dorsey also came a month after Gad told the Washington Post that Twitter was considering labeling tweets which violate its rules, but which the company permits to remain online because they are deemed to be in the public interest. Such a move could potentially impact Trump, as some critics have suggested his tweets have violated the platform's terms of service. Okay, well, again, unfounded, erroneously, dude, you're not on Twitter much, or you're not paying attention, or you didn't listen to Jack Dorsey and his trust and safety lady when they were talking to Joe Rogan. I don't know what to tell you.
Scribe, you got a couple super chats.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I know. I watch these things.
You were reading, and usually you're like, when I'm reading.
No, I was pontificating.
Oh.
And after I'm done pontificating, I go back to the chats. All right. Thank you, Sanguine. Remember, if it is an accusation against the right, it is plus true, and Mini Truth endorsed it. If it is against the left, it is erroneous and unfounded, even when there are confessions and mounds of evidence. In this case, that seems to be it. Thanks to what's his name who wrote this quote. Yeah, my brain's getting all chewed up. Thank you, Diesel Dave. I'm a Yankee. I was born and raised in Illinois. Okay, well, then you're not a rebel, I suppose. And thank you, Snubberth. I live in Illinois. We have rednecks, and they are actually truckers. Fight me, David. Jesus. You know, it's half like reading a WWF sort of taunt fest between Hulk Hogan and Macho Man sometimes on here. I feel like a sort of low-rent Mean Gene Okerlund. Anyway, so that was Oliver Darcy going to bat for Twitter against Twitter's own statements.
I had an argument just the other day over Twitter and their liberal bias. And some assholes like, well, give me proof. And I linked the fucking stream where Dorsey says, yes, we have a liberal bias.
Yeah.
And somebody came back with, well, do you have examples of this?
Well,
like, are you out of your fucking mind? He just said it.
I'll tell you what, if there were examples that I could show you of somebody being oppressed by Twitter, there wouldn't be examples of people being oppressed by Twitter.
I was just like, it came out of his own mouth, but you still don't want to believe it because what? That would mean Republicans were right about something?
Yeah. We can't have that.
Oh man, I was dumbfounded when I got that reply. But do you have examples?
Hey, Monkey, since you're already on that track, can you tweet the quote from Jack Dorsey to Oliver Darcy at CNN just to let him know? That'd be it. Yeah. Diesel Dave, thank you. You don't have to be Southern to be a redneck. Well, yes. So he's not wrong in maybe thinking you're a rebel, even though you're I don't know. And thank you, Orpheus Telos. In before being banned on Twitter is an alt-right dog whistle. Thank you, Sanguine. Again, I really want them to bop Trump's Twitter just so the suit can be a First Amendment case, since it has been determined by the courts that everyone has a right to comment on Trump's Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's why they won't. And besides, the president of the United States, you know, short of him doing something ridiculous, I mean, and for Trump that means something. They're not gonna spike him. And thank you, Snubberth, again. Semantics. And hello, Sinatra. Because Sinatra gets a hello because he's got a check mark.
That's racist.
Okay. Moving on. ISIS suspect gave advanced warning of Sri Lanka bombings, source says. Early warnings from India's intelligence services to Sri Lankan officials ahead of the Easter Sunday bombings were based on information gleaned from an ISIS suspect, CNN has learned. Delhi passed on unusually specific intelligence in the weeks and days leading up to the attacks, Sri Lankan officials have said, and at least some of it was gleaned from material obtained during the interrogations of an ISIS suspect arrested in India, an Indian official told CNN. The suspect gave investigators the name of a man he trained in Sri Lanka, who is associated with a local extremist group implicated in the bombings. The man, Zaran Hashim, was identified in a video of the purported attackers released Tuesday by ISIS, which claimed responsibility for the Easter Sunday killings. In a statement published by the ISIS-affiliated news agency Amaq, there's an ISIS-affiliated news agency? Okay. The group said the attackers were, quote, fighters of the Islamic State, unquote. The involvement of a foreign organization would explain how a previously marginal domestic extremist group would explain how a previously marginal domestic extremist group blamed for the attacks, National Tawhid Jamaat, could have pulled off one of the worst terrorist attacks since 9/11. Is it one of the worst?
Yes.
Okay, I thought.
For the body count and everything all at once.
Okay.
Yeah. If you look at it all as one attack. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm not trying to diminish it. I just like from 9/11 till now, there's got to have been some really major things that have happened that I'm just forgetting about. The number of casualties could have been even higher. Authorities said Tuesday that a fourth hotel was among the original targets, but the attack at that location failed. Officials previously said they found an unexploded pipe bomb near Colombo's international airport. As investigators scrambled to track down the bomber's associates, there was growing anger in Sri Lanka at the failure to heed the warnings of India's intelligence service. No kidding. The first warning came more than 2 weeks before the attacks. Sri Lankan officials were told on April 4th of a potential plot to launch suicide attacks against Christian churches and tourist spots. The warnings were repeated 2 days and 2 hours before the attacks, but nothing was done. Delhi's information came from the interrogation of an ISIS suspect. Quote, while we were investigating ISIS cases, during the interrogation of an accused, he disclosed the name of a man, Zaran Hashim, who is one of the suicide bombers and is associated with NTJ. The suspect said he played a role in Hashim's radicalization. The Indian intelligence source did not specify when the arrest was made. Quote, Indian intelligence agencies shared their information with their counterparts in Sri Lanka. But, of course, nothing happened. So, anyway, the investigation is ongoing. Article goes on for a bit, but it kind of repeats itself. Thank you, Diesel Dave. The origin of a redneck is someone who works outdoors for a living. Is that right?
Yeah, it comes redneck. It's a literal translation. You've been over in the sun.
Oh, sure.
It's
Okay.
red. Yeah. Nowadays, it just means some yokel. We talked about this yesterday. I told you that's the only thing that made sense, that there had to be something outside for there to be a communique from another government, even if it is that close to them.
Mm-hmm.
For them to have had such scarily accurate information on what was going to happen, especially from a group that up until that point had only been known for vandalism.
Thank you, Snubberth. They are still all Hicks. You guys are just, there's a Hatfield McCoy feeling going on over here in our chat. I don't know, guys. You should make peace. Seriously, just stop it. Stop it.
You want them to make peace and stop your Dr. Pepper fun from overflowing?
Hey, Satsu, have you ever heard of reverse psychology?
Have you ever heard of reverse psychology?
No, what's that? Anyway, yeah. So, well, my next wondering is, how many more of these things are being attempted by ISIS right now? You find some local group, and you just say, "Hey, we'll help you." And especially not only that, but if you think about it in other ways, what other countries are not paying attention to the information being given to them plainly by some of these intelligence services?
Yeah, how much other shit are they disregarding?
Yeah. Thank you, Diesel Dave, again. Wow, racist much? Is hick a racist term?
Can be.
Not so much racist as classist.
Yeah, I thought it was more like, other side of the tracks kind of thing. But I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, something as blatant as this. Hey, there's going to be these guys doing this horrible thing. Like 2 weeks from now, maybe you should go look at this guy's name. I mean, they gave him a name. Sometimes you just get like chatter or rumors or something. But they gave him the name of one of the guys that would go on to be one of the killers. It's like, how do you not? I mean, I remember so many times in the last several years where some concerned parent has called the FBI and said, my son is doing something XYZ, or he's going to go over to ISIS or something. Please do something. And they don't. And then the person ends up killing people. And we spent all this money, and the whole point behind Homeland Security and the Patriot Act and all this, and I know I'm talking domestically, but just in general after 9/11, was that the idea is that we can't let these things slip through the cracks anymore. Yet we still...
though, how many of these are false?
I know.
When they come through and and especially in a case like this where, again, the worst this group had ever done was like spray paint some shit.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Yogolo Hishkip.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, yeah, it's reverse psychology.
Bless you.
Yes.
It's so easy in hindsight, and I get what you're saying, Scribe. Like, yeah, you had all of this information, and that explains why they were so quick to arrest and to make it to the right point where...
Yeah, exactly. But that's also 2 minutes too late.
But again, you also have to look at how many times have they received warnings. Oh, these assholes are going to do it, and they go look at it, and it's a fine line to walk, man.
I know it's a boy who cried wolf situation, but I don't know. Such specific information, they didn't even bother to like question the guy. I mean, if he's a known participant in this local group, I don't know. Especially coming, I mean, of like a guy in ISIS over in India says something that refers to Sri Lanka, and that doesn't throw off like a few alarm bells. I don't know.
That's
Anyway,
a big step between spray painting and blowing yourself up.
well, but now they're going to have to be wary of all that kind of stuff.
They will.
Which is, it's unfortunate it had to cost so many people's lives to get there. But anyway, moving on to even less fun news. Saudi Arabia executes 37 people, crucifying one for terror-related crimes. Saudi Arabia has executed 37 men convicted of terror-related crimes, the kingdom's official news agency said Tuesday. One of the convicts was crucified, according to an Interior Ministry statement carried by the Saudi press agency. Quote, the death penalty was implemented on a number of criminals for adopting extremist terrorist ideologies and forming terrorist cells to corrupt and disrupt security, as well as spreading chaos and provoking sectarian strife, SPA said in a tweet. The statement listed the names of the 37 Saudi nationals who were executed in various parts of the country. It carried out one of its largest mass executions in January 2016, when 47 people were put to death, including prominent Shia leader Nimir al-Nimir. The executed prisoners were accused of terrorism and having extremist ideology. Crucified? Like literally crucified? Thank you, Diesel Dave. Fucking Nazi. Who, me? What are you talking about? I'm not a Nazi.
Let me play a little devil's advocate here.
Go ahead.
Because we look at crucified. That's horrible. What if they stopped another Sri Lanka by doing that?
But crucifixion? I mean, crucified him? I mean,
would it be better? I mean, but he's dead anyway. Kinder death?
Well, first and foremost, I'm against the death penalty as a matter of course, but I don't know. There are humane deaths. Crucifixion is not a humane death.
I have no input on this.
I know there's no not much to talk about. I guess it's just like Jesus. I don't know. There's a level of barbarism that just kind of makes me go ugh, especially when it's enacted by the state. So I don't know. Like I say, I'm against the death penalty. That's a whole other conversation, though. Anyway, how about some free speech talk? I know Monkey's going to like this, maybe. Or not. I don't know. This is from the New York Times. Gays, Palestinians, speaking your mind can spell trouble on the city council. After a New York City councilman said that the council was, quote, controlled by the homosexual community, unquote, his influential committee, created at his request, was dissolved. Another council member was bounced from the immigration committee when he said on Twitter that, quote, Palestine does not exist, unquote, and referenced, quote, so-called Palestinians, unquote, in another tweet. The remarks by Ruben Diaz Sr. of the Bronx and Kalman Yeager of Brooklyn brought immediate condemnation from their colleagues and led to what the city council speaker, Corey Johnson, said was a loss of confidence in both men. As more and more public officials face scrutiny for expressing views that some perceive as racist, homophobic, sexist, or hateful, the effort to deal with them in a way that satisfies the public's desire for justice while upholding the free speech rights of the offenders has become increasingly complex.
Offender.
Let's wait. It gets better. Mr. Johnson acknowledged the tricky balancing act, but said it was his duty, quote, to make sure all the people and all communities feel seen, heard, and respected. Quote, you have a right to free speech, Mr. Johnson said in an interview. But you don't have a right to a committee on the city council.
True.
Terry DeMontis, is Scribe in favor of the death penalty? Sorry, the death metal penalty where they have to listen to Cannibal Corpse for several days straight instead? Sure. Why
That's
not?
assisted suicide.
Yeah, it's psychological warfare. David Keating, president of the Institute for Free Speech, a nonprofit that defends First Amendment rights and political speech, said that Mr. Diaz and Mr. Yeager would have good reason to sue if they chose. He said the Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that public employees and legislators have the same rights and free speech as private citizens. Well, I would hope so. Quote, these people are being punished for their speech, Mr. Keating said, referring to Mr. Yeager and Mr. Diaz. If you don't agree with something, the remedy is to speak out about your views, unquote. In 1966, the Georgia House of Representatives voted not to seat the civil rights activist Julian Bond, who had just been elected, because he spoke against the Vietnam War. A lower court upheld the move, but the Supreme Court reversed the decision, ruling that officials in, quote, representative government, unquote, should be given, quote, the widest latitude to express their views on issues of policy, unquote. In 1962, the Supreme Court reversed the conviction of James Wood, a Georgia sheriff who had been found guilty of contempt of court for criticizing the decision of a judge to convene a grand jury to investigate whether African Americans engaged in election fraud. The court ruled that it was, quote unquote, imperative that elected officials be, quote, allowed freely to express themselves on matters of current public importance, unquote. Eliminating Mr. Diaz's committee on for-hire vehicles and removing Mr. Yeager from the Committee on Immigration is akin to the government taking action to curtail speech, Mr. Keating suggested. Okay, well, what do we think about that?
Were these guys appointed to this committee or elected to it?
If I remember correctly, it was a committee they created or joined. I'm not quite sure.
See, that's a little bit trickier. In the other two cases, I mean, if you paid attention, they were specifically elected representatives, an elected representative of the Georgia House, an elected sheriff that got in trouble and lost.
Well, they're city councilmen, so I assume they were elected to the position.
Sure, but they didn't. Yeah. They're still part of the city council.
Yeah. So at least in the case of whichever one was talking about, the council was controlled by the homosexual community. His committee was one he created at his own request, whatever committee that was. So the for-hire deal.
One, look, you can, you know me, you can say whatever you want to say, but when it comes to the legal part of it, this is not going to be the same as those other two cases because these are just committees. They're largely fucking meaningless, and the people still hold the job they were elected to, as far as the story told us. With that said, God, we got some thin-skinned pussies in this board.
Well, isn't the creation of a committee just an extension of a representative's expression?
I mean, I suppose you could try to make that argument, but you don't have a right to do that.
Well, that's what's at question.
The government is not. I mean, yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, is creating a committee to discuss a specific issue not an extension of the representative's beliefs on policy?
I don't know what you'd have to actually look at their job description. Okay. If their job description says any committee member any member can make any committee they want, sure. But we do have rules within our legislatures and stuff, so that's what it's going to come down to. So, as far as a direct comparison to the two cases they cited, that's not even close. So,
well, it'll be interesting if it ever goes any further, but I guess we'll see.
But the offensive, his offense,
right?
Are you out of your fucking mind? He said something you didn't like.
Yep.
And now on a now there's the legal aspect of it, which I don't think this will hold up in court, or I don't think it'll get overturned by a court. But then the free speech aspect, the non-censorship aspect of it. Get over yourselves, you goddamn bitches. So the one guy said, questioned Palestine, which doesn't fucking exist. It's something that's made up. It was a area, not a fucking state, you morons.
Breaking news: we have big fire in France.
Huh.
A huge fire raging at the French city of Versailles. Buildings are burning near the former residence of the kings of France. And there's some video playing. I don't know if this is affecting historical locations like Notre Dame was, but it's happening right now. And now my phone is beeping at me, as it usually does. And I think I'm okay for now. Okay. Yeah.
To finish that point, saying that Palestine is a country is like saying that Midwest is a country. It literally is. It was a region. There was no actual city state.
I'm taking away your committee, monkey.
Please do.
All right. With that, guys, we'll move on to MSS News. If you have stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but I'll do my best. And that first one about the fire was from Kimchi Dragon. So thank you, Kimchi. That is an ongoing story, so I'm sure we'll hear about it later. This one comes from Quinn Harrison. Waves uncut infamous 1919 shipwreck tied to murder and mutiny off of North Carolina's Surf City. Ooh. A ship that ran aground after its crew mutinied a century ago has reemerged from the sands at Surf City, North Carolina. The town posted photos and a warning on Facebook on Monday showing the 10-inch rotting beams of the William H. Sumner that had come to the surface thanks to winds and waves. Quote, this afternoon we see the remains of the William H. Sumner, which is about 150 yards north of the old Barnacle Bills Pier in Surf City. Please remember shipwrecks are protected by the state, so removing or damaging the remains is a violation of state law. The tough-to-identify pile of timbers is actually a 28 by 11 section of the 165-foot schooner's deck, the Topsail Island News reported last year. The ship ran aground in the area back in September 1919 while sailing from Puerto Rico to New York City. Quote, the story goes that the young 25-year-old captain on his first voyage in command had sailed too close to shore. When the currents and winds left the schooner stranded near present-day New Topsail Inlet, the ship was pulverized on the shoals. However, stories of the ship's final hours changed in the weeks that followed as evidence emerged suggesting the young captain had been killed by his crew, according to a 2010 article in Wrightsville Beach magazine. Investigators theorized the ship's rations ran low and the crew mutinied after the captain refused to put in for supplies. Well, sucks to be him. Yep. All right, so old boat.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's see. What do we have next? This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Oh boy. Ocasio-Cortez silent on Sri Lanka after politicizing the New Zealand terror attacks. Well, color me surprised. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been radio silent on social media about the horrifying Easter Day Islamic terrorist attacks on Christians in Sri Lanka, which left over 310 people dead and hundreds more injured. But didn't she say she was taking a break from social media?
That was a while ago. She was talking about that shit after that, though, right?
Well, no, I mean, in the last week or so, she said she was going to do that.
I don't know.
No, her thing saying she was going to take a break from it was after the Christchurch thing.
No, that's what I mean, is that if she's radio silent on Sri Lanka, then maybe that's just because she's taking a break from social media.
Right. I thought Satsu was asking if she had spoke about Christchurch after she said she was going radio silent.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not what I meant. I meant like, I don't know if it's fair to complain that she's not saying anything on social media when she's said she was going to take a break from social media. So, yeah. Anyway, this Daily Wire article goes on to show her tweets about Christchurch from back in March. But again, if she wasn't going to be on social media before this even happened, then I'm not quite sure what the basis of the complaint is.
I don't know. I guess the consensus is, regardless of if she was taking a break or not, if that shooting or whatever that she was politicizing came out, she would come out of taking a break to talk about it. There's no way she'd be quiet about it. But so this wasn't important enough, though.
Okay. This one comes from Frosted Glass. Why gender pay gap truthers are on the rise.
But yet, strangely, lawsuits are not.
Wait. Okay. I'm going to read this sub headline. Now, you tell me why this sub headline answers its own complaint. Okay. The evidence that men earn more than women is clear, yet the alt-right insists this is a myth. Why has this argument become so pervasive?
Because it's true.
Yeah, the key word there, Zoe Williams at The Guardian, is earn. It's not a myth that men earn more than women.
It is a myth that women are paid.
That's why I'm really surprised that she used that particular word, because almost every argument I ever hear is women are paid less, or even slightly in the middle, they make less.
It's all about it's about the structuring of the sentence. You can say that to their followers and they would still interpret it as such. You can say women earn less, so we need to talk about why they're paid less. And they would be like, oh, yeah, we need to talk about that. Yeah. They would completely miss the fact that those are two different words, because narrative is king.
The gender pay gap truther. It is such a distinctive phrase. I'd never actually heard it before. That neologism, I haven't seen that in a while, of truthers sitting peculiarly, good Lord, lady, you must be British, against the throwback of pay gap. Something about it tells you immediately that these truthers, like anti-vaxxers, like Russian troll bots, have been around longer than you realize. And you would be right. In polemical YouTube comment sections and Reddit threads, the gender pay gap is already a myth. End of simples. Okay. Mike Wendling, the author of Alt-Right from 4chan to the White House, says, quote, you see this from the alt-right brigade. Milo Yiannopoulos, Ben Shapiro. Oh, yeah, those two guys get along swimmingly. Jesus. I've rarely seen them bother explaining it to their audiences who just take the pay gap myth as read.
Are you fucking serious?
So Ben Shapiro has never explained how the pay gap, and by the way, the pay gap as explained that women are literally paid less than men on the basis of their being women, not that they earn less as a matter of aggregate. That has never been explained by Ben Shapiro. And even Milo Yiannopoulos has never explained how the pay gap works. Never explained that.
Dude, the factual feminist, fucking pretty much every single person who has even a shred of influence that has talked about this has laid out mathematically exactly how this factors out. But no, we're the ones who proved it, even though we're working at this company telling you, I'm a woman working at this company telling you that I am being paid less. And it is illegal, but I'm not doing anything about it. Also, every other woman that I know is also being paid less, where it is illegal, but we're not doing anything about it. You're just supposed to believe it.
I remember, I think it might have been either Sargon or was it Joe Rogan? Anyway, somebody had taken one of the earliest studies that actually sort of laid out the theory of the pay gap. And, God forbid they actually read the thing. And just like so many other people have said since then, and even the people that wrote the study said, if you account for all the other factors aside from just gender, like hours worked, job type, all that kind of stuff, the pay gap between men and women actually winnows down to something like 3 to 5%. And only somewhere in there could you say that maybe there's sexism that causes some percentage of that, but you can't know because that's all like mentality and attitude. But even then, 3 to 5% is a margin of error on just about any statistical basis. So, yeah, it's okay. This person writing this is about like 10 years behind the times.
Well, you should have known as soon as they said truther.
Well,
'Cause that is
truther, not. Oh, sorry.
That is seen as an insult these days. That means you're part of a conspiracy. If there's any kind of earther thing,
They also
truther.
give a big piece here on quoting Stephen Molyneux as part of their. Of all the people you could pick, yeah, you're right. If you're going to say that Stephen Molyneux or Stefan Molyneux represents the truther side of things, and the truther side of things is the exact. Yeah, okay, good job.
Just because Molyneux got one thing right doesn't mean we're all on board with him. Even they have it. Oh God, the original study that gave us a pay gap comes from the 1960s.
Mhm.
It does. And it has only been redone like twice. And even in the ones that have been redone, they don't take everything into account. Things like where you live. A computer programmer living in, say, Silicon Valley is going to make different than a computer programmer living where I do, even if they have the exact same skills.
Yeah.
And they don't take this shit into account.
All it shows is just the aggregate amount of money earned in the time frame between men and women. That's it. It doesn't, and that's where they say, "Oh, the gap. Look at these two things." Yeah, well, if more women fall out of the workforce or reduce their footprint in the workforce due to raising a family or other considerations, as compared to men who end up being the primary breadwinners for most households, yeah, women are going to earn less. That is not a comment on the value of women. That's just their participation in the workforce. That's it. But anyway, real quick, thank you, Cryptic. Pay gap in women. Gaps in women. Ha ha ha. Sorry. Cryptic, you're sexist. Thank you, Sanguine. Alt-writers like these two Jews, one of which is gayer, hated by the alt-right. The stats are so bad that the only two explanations for them are lying with stats or utter incompetence. Yeah.
No, there's just one. It's lying.
Yeah, lying or refusing to pay attention to the evidence that's been presented for the last 15 years.
Yeah, because they see a number and they're just like, there's a gap in between there. We need to insert a reason on why that happens. Like anybody can fucking do that. I could go look at the statistics on construction workers, male versus female, and be like, oh, there's a gap. There must be a fucking army of women forcing men into these jobs. Let's start a conspiracy about it. It's a thing. It exists. You can't say it doesn't because I said it does. Proof? Fuck that shit.
Yeah, thank you, Sanguine. The only widely reported stat that is sloppier is the 1 in 4. Oh God, I did a video where they brought that up not too long ago. Yeah, no, this is the God of the gaps theory. There is a differential in these two things. Therefore, that differential is explained by this horrible force that I am against. You know, without actually doing any actual research or anything. It's like because there is a difference between those two things. Obviously, sexism. Or obviously racism, or obviously homophobia, or obviously this, because, the ones I love is, I've seen this on TEDx talks again and again and again. They'll show some statistic like, here's how much men earn, here's how much women earn, and they just leave it hanging in the air with this judgmental tone for the audience to draw their own conclusion as to exactly what's causing it.
Or say, tell me what's wrong with this picture.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay, moving on. This one comes from Check Your Logic. Florida man in Easter Bunny brawl is a fugitive and talks about his furry fist fight. Okay, so the Easter Bunny was acting as a superhero? The man in the bunny suit is speaking out. That's right. The guy in an Easter bunny suit caught on viral video punching another man outside an Orlando nightclub Sunday night says he was simply bar hopping with friends when he spotted another man and a woman fighting. He hopped over to help the woman and let his furry fists fly. Quote, so I got over there so I could break up the fight. And with me trying to break up the fight, he got on top of her and hit her. So I had to try a different method basically to break up the fight, which actually worked, explained Antoine McDonald. Lindsay Edwards said just before the bunny hopped in to help, he saw the man spit on the woman he was fighting with. Quote, I see this girl. She got spit on by some dude. I think it was a homeless guy. I'm not sure exactly. An African-American girl getting spit on, and he was defending herself. She was defending herself, but he was hitting back. After McDonald threw a few punches, a police officer stepped in and broke up the fight. Officers thought it was a hoax, but McDonald says it wasn't. Quote, the officer came up to me and said, if you do that again, I'm going to arrest you in the damn bunny suit, said McDonald. I just rushed over there. I didn't say, hey, look at this. No, I just rushed over there. I'm reading it as it's written, guys. The real deal, nothing fake, he said. Okay, well, then the superhero bunny. He was acting as a vigilante to save a woman in distress.
That's
Yay.
not what I saw.
Oh, what'd you see?
We're talking about the Easter bunny who beat the shit out of the one person?
Yeah.
Okay. That to me looked like somebody who was really enjoying beating on someone.
Uh-huh.
That didn't look like they were breaking up no fight. Because almost immediately when they rush over and get involved in it, they start throwing punches. And they only throw punches in one direction.
Thank you, Terry Diamantis. A male brain surgeon makes more money than the female who served me at McDonald's. Checkmate, wage gap deniers.
You know, that's even the dirtier one, because at least some of these they go through and try to compare within the same field. But yeah, women make less than men. Well, what were the men doing? They're CEOs and the women were cashiers.
Yeah, and then when you catch, well, why aren't women CEOs? Because men won't let them do it. Oh yeah, where's the man that didn't let her do it? Can I see him? Can you point him out for me?
You know what invariably is the premier example of systemic sexism in business? Every time I pull up a TEDx talk or any other presentation dealing with the subject, Fortune 500 CEOs. It's always the Fortune 500 CEOs. Only 13% of the Fortune 500 CEOs are women. And I'm like, okay, so 500 companies out of all the companies in the country, the top 500 companies as far as earnings in the entire United States is all you're going to pay attention to. I mean, I don't know out of all the companies that exist in this country what the ratio is between male to female CEOs. I'm sure it's probably still more men than it is women. But the top companies with the most stressful jobs, with the biggest profiles, etc., that is your metric for there's too much sexism in business. Okay. Anyway. And then they go on to say that women need to learn how to negotiate better for their salaries. Like, well, I don't know what to tell you. You can have it one way or the other.
Well, it's men's fault that women don't know how to negotiate.
Let's see. This one comes from Froggy. No shower caps, pajamas, or bonnets. Texas school imposes dress code on parents. Okay. The principal of a high school in Houston, Texas, is facing criticism after imposing a dress code on parents who visit campus and threatening to kick out any parent who violates it. All right. James Madison High School has prohibited an extensive list of clothes, including bonnets, satin caps, shower caps, hair rollers, pajamas of any kind, jeans showing lots of skin, revealing leggings and tops, Daisy Duke shorts, undershirts, and dresses that are up to your behind, unquote.
Is it bad that I'm having horrible flashbacks right now?
Principal Carlotta Outley Brown wrote in a message to parents earlier this month that, quote, if you break our school rules/policies or do not follow one of these rules, you will not be permitted inside the school until you return appropriately dressed for the school setting, unquote. Outley Brown wrote that, quote, we do value you as a partner in your child's education, but said, quote, we have to have standards.
Look, we already know what people are thinking. So I'm just going to give an anecdotal story on my experience, and we're going to give at least a few people in the chat some justification to think whatever stupid shit they're thinking right now. Because I done seen some shit as a kid that I don't think I was supposed to see without access to the internet of kids' parents coming to the school. I mean, like she rolled out of bed, one titty out, like ass cheek out, in school with a cigarette and a fucking shower cap on. What do you do? And I'm just like, I mean, more power to you, but that shit happened way too often. And it's like, nobody expects you to fucking get up and get dressed and fucking turn this into an event. Like you're going to a school, but like, I don't understand why. I don't know. It was bad. Let's just say that I seen it way more than I should have. So there's part of me who is like, yeah, that might not be a horrible idea if that's a serious issue. And then there's another part of me that's like, yeah, fuck you. They're not gonna abide by that shit.
Yeah, if a parent shows up to pick up their kid from school, you're going to bar them from picking up their kid or something. I don't know about that. But I mean, if it's a school function, like an assembly or some kind of ceremony or something, I that might make more sense. But just as a flat out general rule, I don't know.
Well, I mean, this one of our friends' moms came to school, and let's just say the topic of that whole day was her ass and how much of it we saw, to the point where the teacher was like, okay, this is an issue because y'all think I can't hear you, but I can't. Yeah.
Well, it is that time. So, guys, thank you so much for all the stories. We're going to move on to YouTube time. I'll go first because I didn't have a chance to do much of anything today. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Satsu, what have you been up to?
Oh, well, the next video will be going up tomorrow. That is the video for the ribs up on the Fam 2 Cents channel. And I also have 2 other videos that I'm going to be working on. I recorded Squishy unboxing. Oh, shit. I almost died.
Okay. Not?
Yeah, the fucking acid reflex. That shit almost just killed me. I recorded Squishy opening the box for the what is it? The Ninja Foodie is what it's called. Yeah, that you guys got me for my birthday, and I did a little kind of dismantle of it and took it apart and showed you guys all the pieces and stuff that it came with, and I'll be putting that video up along with Squishy opening the box and everything soon. Thanks again, guys. You guys are fucking awesome. I cannot wait to use it. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna cook in it, but it's gonna get used. Trust me. Let me see what else.
Real quick, Diesel Dave, thank you. Satsu's mom showed up in booty shorts. Pics or it didn't happen?
Well, it didn't happen, so there's no pics.
There you go.
Outside of that, I think that's it. We streamed last night. My mom bought me a mic that I can connect to my phone and clip to my shirt or whatever. It's got a really long cable. So I could possibly do some recording of audio outside of just recording it later. It doesn't pick up a lot of noise, and you don't want to use the phone microphone. It's fucking terrible. I've tried and it is absolutely horrible. So that'll open up some avenues for me. Plus, I've been thinking about doing some live streams, some cooking live streams. So that'll definitely help me out too. So I got a whole bunch of shit planned, guys. So that's what I got going on.
All right, Monkey.
After our stream last night, I was too tired to do a monkey in the morning, so I did it this morning after I woke up, ish. And me, Jack, and for a while, Polly, we just had a really fun conversation, which I could not even tell you what all we talked about. It was just 3 hours of formatless fun.
Oh, are you trying to tell me something?
No, I bring that up specifically because one of my favorite episodes of Monkey in the Morning are ones where, like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. I'm just going to turn on the mic and talk. And somehow they work out because subjects just keep coming up that were all over the place. And there's like never a dull moment. And this was one of those. They're very rare, unfortunately. Maybe once a month we get a show like this. And this was a really fun one. So if you guys enjoy that show at all, definitely check this one out. It was a lot of fun. Plus, I like to poke at you, Scribe.
I see how it is. You talk about me behind my back.
No, I only do that to your face, man.
So, you're bored here, are you?
Me?
Format makes you bored, huh? All right.
No. Format is just occasionally limiting, and rightfully so. We've discussed it. Damn it! Now you're going to make me sit here and defend format. You're an asshole. Format has its place. It's why this show has run so well for 2 years.
Yeah, I understand.
If you guys remember the shows before format, oh my God, some of those were like,
no, yeah, okay. You backpedal a little bit more there. Why don't you? If you do it really, really fast, you'll turn back time and save Lois Lane.
Look, Polly's already my dad. I don't need a mom to. Leave me alone.
Oh, fuck you. Okay, shrivel tongue, you want to keep digging?
No, it was just a fun episode. Make sure you check that one out. It was a lot of fun.
Well then, on to the wonderful world of fucketry. I don't think I had anything major. No. Although apparently I ticked off old grouchy gamer by being a grammar corrector.
I saw that this morning. I don't remember what that was about.
I could tell you, but who cares? No, I found I made a joke. You want to hear my joke?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a Toyota Prius and mistook it for a Honda Insight, but then I was auto-corrected.
I see what you did there. Auto. It took me a second. I was like, what the fuck? All right, I got you.
Sinatra asked, Monkey, did you like my little shout out?
I really did, man. Although you were wrong about saying I'm always wrong, but otherwise you were right.
Okay. Well, that's basically all the fucketry that I recall that I have. So, Satsu.
Well, I got some fucketry in the chat. Weebo says, oh, no, wait. Never mind. I read that wrong.
Oh, okay.
Oh, by the way, Weebo says you're starting to sound like a woman.
That's too bad, Monkey.
No. So I decided to go on Facebook to ask some people if, was it Digital Foundry? Is that the name of the company that makes the PCs?
I don't know. I don't know
what's the name of that company. God damn it.
That sounds right.
I think so. It's Digital something. But they like put together custom PCs and you can buy from them. And I was looking at some PCs on there and they have a really good plan where you can get a computer right now. You don't have to pay anything. And there's like a really small monthly payment. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, you know, because I'd be able to get a computer basically anytime and I could afford the monthly payment, no problem. So I decided to go on Facebook to ask this group that I was in whether or not I should trust them. And oh boy. Oh fucking boy. Y'all computer people are fucking crazy. Like this is one of the issues I had when I first was asking about getting my PC. And all hell broke loose and everybody was just like, everybody else doesn't know what they're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. You need to do it this way. I didn't get any help at all. It's just a whole bunch of people yelling at each other about why building a PC is much better You should just build it with your own hands because that's more important. It was a clusterfuck, and I wanted to I was like, well, maybe I'll ask the chat, but then I'm like, what's gonna happen to our chat if I do that? I still want to know though. Like I'm still very curious because they look like a pretty reputable company. The PCs, I see them on Amazon and stuff all the time. So I'm like, if I was to get a pre-made PC, would that be a good place to get it? But I just know that instead of people being like yes or no, they're going to just be like, you should build your own. And I'm like, that's not what I fucking asked you. So and I'm that was the extent of my fucketry today. And I done started a shitstorm on Twitter, Facebook that I'm sure is still going. So yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay. Monkey.
We're on fucketry, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Hang on. Why is my profile not loading? There it goes.
Oh no.
Kamala Harris.
Hey. Oh.
She tweeted out, this is for the record. I didn't see much. I was in bed most of the day trying desperately to sleep with some success. She tweeted out, in 2017 alone, nearly 40,000 Americans were killed by guns. This is a national epidemic. If Congress fails to act to address it in my first 100 days, I will take executive action to keep our kids and communities safe.
How?
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
First of all, that 40,000 number, yes, 40,000 Americans were killed by guns. 28,000 of those did it themselves. So, yes, that's still, they died because of guns, but the idea that if you take away guns, you're going to get rid of suicide, it's not. In a lot of places where they've done it, other kinds of suicide methods go up because these are people who are just, trying to do it. Yes, it makes it a little quicker and stuff. So you can make that argument, but stop trying to present it. 40,000 Americans were killed. You're trying to present that as though they were murdered. You know it. I know it. Stop. Just be honest about it. But the other part.
Do those count police shoot?
Yes. That 40,000 also includes all gun violence. So it's like 28,000 suicides. I forget the number of the direct murders, and then there's any kind of other, defense, police shootings, that kind of stuff. All of that is in there. But the much more troubling aspect there is that the president of the United States has zero power to override the Second Amendment. None. You can't do it, you silly bitch. But she thinks she's gonna. She doesn't tell us how.
Yeah, well, I mean, now, okay, devil's advocate. Does she mean override the Second Amendment, or does she mean introducing stricter gun control laws?
She can't do that.
Well, she can push for them in her party. That's about it.
Right, but I mean, she says she's going to take executive action.
Oh, okay. Well, then what executive power could she enact that would not, take away the Second Amendment, but still restrict gun availability?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
President does not have that power.
She can't institute like universal background checks.
Nope.
You sure?
Positive.
Why? Now, I'm not being facetious.
No, I get what you're doing.
Barack Obama introduced DACA, and Trump did a ban on the border, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not even sure what the executive orders can't do at this stage of the game.
Well, again, with DACA, you have to realize the only reason that stood is because it wasn't challenged.
Well, that's what I mean. Is if Kamala Harris puts something up that isn't challenged, what is the extent of her abilities?
Okay, in that regard, yes, she could do one, and if it's not challenged, then it would stay as the basic law of the land. Because what DACA just it didn't actually, I'm using air quotes, change the law. It changed enforcement of the law, which the president can do, sort of. But when it comes to something like this, anything that's going to restrict access to guns, I mean, shall not be infringed, sweetie. You can't do that without. Even most things that Congress tries to do ends up going before the Supreme Court and getting shot down because
No,
they
we
don't
do.
have
We
these
do.
powers.
We do infringe on gun rights all the time.
Sure.
Convicted felons can't have access to guns. So the shall not be infringed has become far more, Swiss cheese over time as far as a hard and fast. You can't violate that one. We do it all the time.
Until we have a Kavanaugh court. I mean,
Well,
we don't have Stevens in there. Or who was it? Yeah, Stevens, the crazy liberal mother. Go ahead.
Has there ever been a time where that applied to like prisoners?
What, where they can't own a firearm?
Yeah.
Some convicted felons can't.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on state laws in a lot of cases. But if you're a convicted felon, you can petition to have your firearms rights restored. In some states, I can't speak for every state, but in a lot of cases, if you're a convicted felon, your ability to possess a firearm is then made basically illegal. If you're caught with a firearm as a convicted felon, you can be arrested.
There are some infringements, but that's being rolled back. I mean, we saw that with the DC law. We've seen that with so many, especially in the last few years. When this stuff hits the Supreme Court, they're like, no, you can't do that.
Willett Ford says, at least the question of felons falls under the realm of denied through due process. Yeah, but that's beside the point. Shall not be infringed doesn't leave any room for it, but yet we do. So the idea that you couldn't impose some kind of modification to existing law that would further restrict gun access does not inherently contradict established law, even in the face of the Second Amendment's wording. So
President can't do that on their own.
Well, like I said, you're probably right. In the case of a gun situation or a executive order that affected gun rights, yeah, someone would challenge it more likely than not. But that's the precedent of DACA is always what I come back to when it comes down to executive orders and just how scary they are to my mind. If you find a weak-willed legislature and some president passes something and nobody challenges it, well, what can't they do? And I know that Kamala Harris isn't necessarily going to get away with it if she was made president, but all the same.
DACA is also different in that you have to show, in order to bring suit in these kind of things, you have to show that it directly affects you. And showing that a DACA recipient being allowed to stay in the country somehow hurts you, lowers the pool of people who could bring suit. Sure. And that one almost had to be done by Congress, because what really hurt there was the president overstepping his authority that actually was vested in them. You try to do that with guns. Every person in the country has a right to own a gun, with the exceptions, of course. But so that makes it every citizen can bring suit. And believe me, so many would. That fucking executive order wouldn't even try before that shit was at the Supreme Court.
Okay, well, first off, we don't know what it is that she would do if she had the executive order power. And
I don't think she does either.
Well, probably not. Probably not. And we could probably spend a lot of time thinking about what she could possibly do that either directly or tangentially could affect gun access in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I don't know. Unless or until she says something more specific. Sounds iffy, but then, if the House and the Senate are both controlled by the Democrats and Kamala Harris is president and she has a friendly Supreme Court, she's not going to, but you know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of variables where I just get kind of cagey when somebody says, I'm going to take executive action, and I don't think, it's hard for me to say that's impossible now, So
no, and I get you, but again, with DACA, because the Republicans, they challenged the follow-up to that, the one that would have let the families of DACA stay with their parents.
Yeah, and that one failed out.
It did. It was immediately shot down. And if Congress had, if instead of Trump overriding DACA, if Congress would have challenged DACA at that point, it would have been shot down. Yeah. And instead, they forced a thing in the system now where the courts are actually standing up for it because of the way it was done. It's our courts are weird. But yeah, that one, I don't care if she came out and said, we're going to make it so you can only own one less bullet. That shit would be at the Supreme Court before your head could spin. I'm telling you, man, it would. Trust me on this one. Trust me. The other thing, and I just want to, this one is, it's kind of funny. So Fanny retweeted this. It's this person losing their shit over Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Specifically the female character models. They're very upset at how Shiva looks like a dude and how the women's aren't hoary looking.
Shiva is a monster character, fictional thing.
It said, fuck the socialists pretending to be video game journalists in the West, fuck the third wave feminists in the West, and fuck the people that liked Nether Realms designed for their MK11 female characters too. They're the reason we're getting shit female characters like these. I stand up for it and defend it when a game company puts in scantily clad women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stand up for the game company when they decide to change it. You know what difference that makes to the gameplay?
None.
Not a dick's worth.
Well, unless you're using one-hand controller.
Yes. Okay. All right. You always have a fucking. You always catch me with something.
Well, my only issue with it was their reasoning behind it, because they were pretending like, we want to be modest, we want to show our characters respect. I'm like, but half the dudes on there are fucking naked.
Except they're not. Only 2 of them are.
Well, there's like 3 or 4 dudes, and like fucking Jax. Most the 2 of his costumes don't have it. Kano doesn't have it. Fucking Liu Kang's second costume doesn't have it. I'm like, they're all shirtless. Shao Kahn is always fucking shirtless.
I'm sitting over here picturing Scribe play Mortal Kombat with only one hand. I can't play with 2, but he can jack off while doing it.
I haven't played Mortal Kombat since Mortal Kombat 2 on Genesis. So,
I think 3 was the last one I played.
Yeah, and I might have played 3 at the arcade back when there were arcades. But yeah.
Look, if they even with their reasoning, Satsu, what is different about them doing it, saying that rather than we like naked women? It's their reasoning, it's their game, and again, it doesn't change the gameplay.
Oh yeah, well that's why I didn't have a problem with it. I just know that it was a virtue signal and they're full of shit. That's the only thing I didn't care about. Is I'm just like, yeah, well, you're not doing this because you like, think about it. Y'all been making games for what? Which anniversary is this? And now all of a sudden, in the age of Me Too, you're just like, yeah, you know what? Every game we've ever made up until this point has been a mistake. Yeah, we've had these views and shit this whole time, but now all of a sudden it's super important that we make sure our women are respected. Like, no, I'm not buying it. You know that it is financially advantageous to do so, so you're doing so. So it is what it is. Don't try to act like you're virtuous and shit when you can still fucking reach into that no longer scantily clad woman's throat, pull her fucking vocal cords out, and shove them up her ass. Like, it's like, come on, like, stop it. What kind of respect is that to that woman? Calm down. You're still about that shit. You just know that it's not popular right now.
Yeah, I think it's an overreaction the other way. I don't.
Oh yeah, I definitely think the people who are freaking out are absolutely overreacting. I won't deny that at all. Like, some people are really taking this shit way too far because it, like you said, it does nothing to change the game. I just know they're full of shit. Like, I'm not buying the virtue. I'm not buying it. I don't buy it at all. They want to make money, and this is how they figured out how to do it. And I'm like, that's fine. That's your job. Your job is to make money. But get that virtuous shit out of my face, because you're full of shit.
Did they actually come out and say that they had always respected women?
They didn't say that, no. But they did say that going forward, this is a part of their core values, which is fine. They're entitled to change their minds, I guess.
A series of games where you can play a female character that can rip the head off of somebody and chomp on it. Women have been powerful in Mortal Kombat since day freaking one.
Yeah, and but again, I just don't think the costumes matter that much.
No,
they don't.
And to your point, Satsu, you can rip somebody's head off and then rip their spine literally out, and I don't even know what all the
oh, dude, they got real creative on this one, dude.
I'm sure they did.
Holy shit.
that has always been the hallmark of Mortal Kombat to me. If you go back to the first ones and you look at these scantily clad women, you can't even. They were so pixelated. If you beat off to that, you are sad.
And they were wearing jumpsuits anyway, like leotards. It wasn't even that revealing for what you could see.
You couldn't do it because of the technology at the time.
Well, but you remember scrambled porn. It doesn't take much for a teenage boy to get some.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm thinking I could, as a teenage boy, probably could have jacked off to that new Shiva. Like, how many arms she got? Oh yeah.
Well, the issue of the scantily clad women didn't come up until much later. Like the whole reason that Mortal Kombat was infamous was because of the brutality and the gore.
The finishers,
Like,
the blood, because they actually had on Genesis, you had to put in a special code for the blood.
Yeah, otherwise it was like sweat or something.
Yes, it was. Yeah, you're right, sweat. I forgot.
The blood code. Yeah, the blood code was great. That was the first
or
thing.
You could turn it.
But
the new one was turning it green.
Look, you think if you're out there and you love Mortal Kombat and one of the reasons you loved it was half naked women, and you think, oh my God, it's ruined my whole franchise. I'm sorry for you. I really am. But even if every woman in there looked like a dude, it's a fucking video game.
To be fair, a lot of them do. But like you said, it is a game. Go play Dead or Alive, man. They don't give a fuck. It's titties all up in that game. They did a whole campaign before that game came out. Talk about we're making a change of heart, guys. We're gonna mute the titty physics and no more bouncing boobs or whatever. And then when that game came out, they was like, psych. That was hilarious.
I just think people are going way overboard with their upset about this. Fuck everything. Oh dear God, there's porn on the internet, man. There's porn.
Oh yeah,
go check it out.
Yeah, there's plenty of games out there to play that will give you the scantily clad women's. And that's not to say that there won't be DLC or optional costumes that you can buy that will make them that way. They just don't come that way by default. Which, like I said, it's totally fine. Most of the time, in my experience with fighting games, the female characters are always the best. Like 9 times out of 10, whatever fighting game I'm playing, my main is usually a female character because they're usually just badass. So women being powerful in these games or whatever, or needing respect, has never really seemed like an issue because they're literally in a fucking tournament fighting to the death with fucking gods and other men. Like it's fine. I'm pretty sure they can handle themselves.
They'll be all right. Yeah. Again, I don't. A little bit too upset about it. You can be upset about why they made the decision, but play the fucking game. It's the same game.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got about 13 minutes thereabouts. How about a Mad Lib?
Let's do it.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay. Monkey, I need an adjective.
How about gory?
There you go. Satsu, I need an adjective.
Can I do scantily clad?
Sure. I'll make it a hyphenated word just for the hell of it.
Yay.
Okay. Monkey, I need a color.
Crimson.
Crimson. Oh, I see a pattern forming here. Satsu, I need a color.
Green.
Okay. Monkey, I need an adjective. There's a lot of adjectives in this one, just as a warning.
Spineless.
Ooh, okay.
I'm trying to keep it on that Mortal Kombat thing.
I see that. Satsu, I need a noun plural.
Swords.
Okay. And thank you, Terry Diamantis. Not buying the game because it's not 75% off yet. Good plan.
My homie. That's right.
Plan.
Good plan. Great plan.
Monkey, I need a number.
11.
Satsu, I need a number.
Damn it. 10.
Good God, a number is covered.
What? Well, he said 11 because we were talking about Mortal Kombat 11, and I'm like, oh shit, I would have said that.
Monkey, I need a unit of measure plural.
Oh, parsecs.
Okay.
I know I couldn't do it with Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that is a measure of distance, but all right. Satsu,
Whatever.
adjective.
Bloody.
Okay. Monkey, I need an adjective.
Bouncy.
Satsu, I need an adjective.
Oh,
Oh.
damn it. Cup sizes would have been a good one. You're right. Damn.
I can change it. It's fine.
How about dead?
Dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't that count? Isn't that
Sure.
a description?
Monkey, I need a verb.
Okay, I'll give you a verb, but I want to change my unit of measure to cup size.
I already did.
Thank you. A verb.
The verb is the verb. Verb.
Finish.
Okay.
Finish it.
Satsu, I need an adverb.
Stealthily.
Okay. Monkey, I need a noun.
Tournament.
Satsu, I need a noun plural.
Blades.
Okay. Monkey, I need a noun plural.
Oh.
Fighters.
Okay. Let's see. Satsu, I need an adjective.
How about injured?
Okay. Monkey, I need a number.
Oh, fuck. Well, damn. Now you've thrown me. I'm trying to keep it Mortal Kombat related. 2.
Okay. Satsu, I need a number.
13.
Monkey, I need a food.
Liver.
And lastly, Satsu, I need a verb.
Uppercut.
Okay.
For the record, I know what numbers are. I know how that sounded there for a second. Like, fuck, what's a number?
How do I number?
Here we go. The busy bumblebee.
Oh, fuck.
Gory and scantily clad, crimson and green, bumblebee adults are spineless pollinators of a variety of sorts.
Nice.
Measuring from 11 to 10 cup sizes in length, these bloody insects make a bouncy dead buzz as they finish somewhat stealthily from tournament to tournament.
This works way too well.
They are important blades. Bumblebees nest in fighters or injured litter where a single queen lays 2 to 13 eggs in spring. Though bumblebees make liver, they make only enough to uppercut the colony.
Gotta uppercut that colony. It sounded like furry fanfic there for a minute.
Dude, I just pictured a fucking bumblebee and a scorpion mask.
Finish them.
Isn't there a combat character now that's kind of like a bee woman creature thing?
Oh, Dravora? Is that her name? Zavora. I think it's Zavora. Yeah, she's nasty.
All right. Well, we're a little early, but we'll move on to chat time. So, guys, if you have questions, comments, complaints, conspiracy theories, I don't even know what I'd add after that. I don't know. Ideas as to how an executive order could affect the Second Amendment. Put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements you'd just like us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. Let's see. Check your logic. Why didn't you choose 92 or 1992 as a number? Oh. God, that makes me feel old. Sad Boy says, Scribe Light, tell 2 cents plus that the Division is better than the Division 2, understanding an interesting lore and feel that has some Tom Clancy feels in it and some of the enemies made scene or maybe sense, I suppose. That's who I have just told you that.
I mean, I've played a lot more of the Division 1 than 2. The gameplay and the functionality is much better on 2 than 1, but I do care a lot more about what's going on in 1 than 2. But I don't give a fuck about what's going on in 2 at all. Nope. But I was I was invested in the first one.
Well, and we also didn't get that far in 2, but the gameplay is so much better in 2.
Yeah.
Froggy says, hey, yesterday was my friend's birthday. Neither of, I assume us could be here because of work, and she is doing a double today. So please sing happy birthday. Her name is Mykia or Misha? I'm not sure.
Misha, M-Y-C-H-I-A.
Maybe it's Misha. Froggy, can you give me a phonetic? I don't want to screw that up.
Is it?
What now?
No, because depending on the spelling, it could be Makai.
Well, that's what I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Quinn the Cultist, Scribe Light, are the bees gay? They can be. They can be, I suppose. Suicide Grunts of America Central, Scribe Light, best meme right now. Best meme right now. Satsu. Check your logic. Why do you feel old if you were born after segregation ended? What?
Is that a requirement of feeling old?
I don't understand that. I must be missing something. Let's see. Did Froggy answer the question? I don't see.
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Slovenly Gulf City American. Why do you need high poly graphics, high res texture, shadows, anti-aliasing, or dynamic lighting? None of that affects gameplay. Yeah, well, Legend of Zelda is still a great game, and it's as basic bitch as you can get as far as graphics.
Right. 7 Days to Die. Hello.
Lighting absolutely can affect gameplay.
Yeah, it can, but doesn't necessarily have to. I made the argument when I was very, very young, when all the new like Nintendos and all this other stuff came out with all the flashy graphics. I'm like, oh wow, look at the graphics, TurboGrafx 16. I was like, well, yeah, it looks good, but is it a good game? That was always the differential for me because I still like playing games that looked simple but were really good games. So, yeah, these days it's kind of a prerequisite for the most part, but you can have low detailed games that are still really fun.
Sure, but the only thing that named there was anti-aliasing that can't affect gameplay. How the character is modeled, I mean, it doesn't change anything. Mm-hmm. If you've played a point-and-click adventure or a point-and-click detective kind of game where you need high-res poly in order to click on the right spot, trust me, it can affect gameplay.
Yeah.
Lighting can affect gameplay, especially in games where you're worried about hiding shadows and stuff. So they can. We're not talking about these women being camouflaged. So their outfits, the only thing that's upsetting people is you don't see boobies. And at least be honest about that. I'm not seeing boobies. I'm mad.
I think they said it's Micaiah.
Micaiah?
I think. They said it's an at the end, but I don't know if they meant Micah? Oh, Micah.
Faithless says Micah, if that's what I'm supposed to be reading. Real quick, RJ Banzo says worse old school console / PC, the PCI. That was bad. So is it Micah? Did Froggy give us an answer?
Froggy hasn't answered yet.
Well, he said I was.
Satsu is right, but pronounce the A at the end.
Yeah, that's what I said. Micaiah. That's what because I said Makai. Because I got a friend whose
Oh.
name is spelled similarly, who's spelled Micaiah, but I think he said Micaiah.
Okay, Micaiah.
So
Okay.
yeah, Micaiah. Yep.
Well, Micaiah, yesterday was your birthday and you're working today, which I'm sorry to hear. Hopefully, when you get out and you hear this, it makes your day a little bit better. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Micaiah.
Happy birthday to you.
I got your name right because I'm a smart man.
Happy birthday, dear Micaiah.
These guys are idiots, though.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I hope you had a great one. And sorry about the birthday, man. We just want to make sure we get it right.
I don't want to screw it up. Nothing for you here. What are your thoughts on using quantum gravitation to open wormholes and travel between galaxies? For Deep Space Nine, yes. For Event Horizon, fuck no. That's my answer.
I approve this message.
Let's see. Frosted Glasses Scribe was a hipster. Yeah. When was I'm totes a hipster. Yeah. Orpheus Taylor says, Scribe Light, why are you and Monkey such boomers? Because we're the oldest ones in the room. That's about the only reason.
You're a boomer if you think I'm a boomer.
Yeah, I mean, actual baby boomers? No, those are my parents. I'm technically, Generation X, I think?
Yeah, you're tail end of X.
Yeah, so. Sad boy Scribe Light, there's a reason why they're half naked women in MK, because sometimes they are fighting in the desert, plus I'll only buy MK11 if they added the hunter from Bloodborne. No, that's not why they wear those outfits. It's because they were designed that way, and they're not fighting in a desert because they're not real. Just to make that very smart ass point. Frosted Glass says, how would Kamala Harris's executive orders affect the Jackbox stream on Jack Gunsky's channel after Lords of the Night?
You sneaky fuck.
That was clever, Frosted Glass.
You sneaky fucking bastard.
Oh my god.
He earned that one.
That was a Trojan horse right there.
For real.
Let's see. Froggy says, thank you. And Monkey, so you know, we are both under 5 feet.
You both girls?
Nice.
Oh, that's right. Froggy is a chick.
Is Froggy?
Froggy is a chick.
Let's see. Bodacious T. Scribe is the Highlander confirmed? How? What?
Nani?
I must have missed something. Did I say there can be only one somehow, or in some fashion?
Who knows?
Check Your Logic says Froggy's a chick. Uh-oh, Froggy. Now every guy in the chat's going to be chasing after your ass. Sorry.
That's what happens.
Let's see. Bluntly Blondie says, can we get as many likes as people watching? That's what I'm asking. Like, that's what I'm wondering every show. It's like, if you're coming in here, you must already like what you're hearing, so you might as well just hit the like button. So, just saying. Thank you, Diesel Dave. OHM.
That's right. Original hipster monkey.
Oh, is that what you are?
Yeah, I decided that today when we were talking about stuff from the 80s. I'm like, look, I grew up with all the stuff these hipster shits like. Like, I'm the original hipster.
That's right.
OH monkey.
Ezoob says, on the subject of wormhole travel, what about Farscape? I never watched Farscape. I know I can't. I think it's on Netflix now, but I never did watch it. Or I saw like an episode or two very early on in the series or something, back when Sci-Fi Channel was actually Sci-Fi Channel and not Syfy.
Mm-hmm.
Syfy. Syphilis. Ebony Williams, Lords of the Night, best way to kill a Roman emperor? Stabbing him in the back in the Senate. It's the most memorable way.
Just wait. Something always gets them. Just wait.
Will it forward? Scribelight, do I have to log into all my accounts and hit like to balance it? No, just you like it. I don't want fake likes. I want you know.
Yeah, and I know there's people like, I'm gonna wait till the end to make sure I liked it, which is fine. But guys,
Yeah.
for the algorithm live, the live likes help.
Yeah.
All likes help in the overall, but that's what really starts pushing it up, guys.
Chicago Mike, 8-track or cassette? Cassette.
Cassette. Do you know how hard it was to get back to your song on an 8-track?
Yeah, no shit. Orpheus Talos, Lords of the Night, did you get the snip?
What?
Are you okay? Are you talking about like a snippet of video somewhere? Or are you talking about being circumcised or something else? Because I don't know.
I've had the snip twice, and I'm both circumcised and have had a vasectomy.
Oh, if that's what you meant, no, I haven't had a vasectomy.
I'm double snipped.
Let's see, and we know that Satsu isn't double snipped at least because. Let's see. Sad Boy, Scribe Light, who is better, the Beatles or the Beach Boys? It's a matter of taste, I guess.
Oh, speaking of that, I finally saw that commercial that I think Scribe brought up of that dude that woke up in a world where the Beatles didn't exist, but he remembered all the songs.
Yeah. Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, holy shit. Looks pretty good.
It looks interesting.
But
I don't know.
I already know how it's going to end up. He's going to come clean and everybody will love him anyway.
Yeah, or he'll wake up because it was all a dream.
Yeah, something
It was
silly.
all the dream.
As for Beach Boys versus Beatles, I probably like more Beach Boy songs, but I'm not a huge fan of either. Plus,
probably
I do not like Kokomo.
Probably the Beatles were more influential, but yeah, I don't know. I could probably sing, or I know at least some of the lyrics to an equal number of Beach Boys songs and Beatles songs. So, Polo. Hey, Scribelight, my future brother-in-law's birthday is coming up, and he's into serial killers. Any books you could recommend? Thanks, and sorry for posting twice. Did you post twice? Chat must have jumped. Serial killers. Well, if you want a classic, there's The Stranger Beside Me, which is Anne Rule's book on Ted Bundy, who she knew in real life as she was becoming a crime author. What else? There's always Zodiac by Robert Graysmith. That's a really good one. Although I'd recommend, if you can find it, the yellow cover edition. There is an updated edition that has a whole bunch of Graysmith's theories on, what was his name? Arthur Lee Allen. It's still sketchy as to how much of that is relevant, but the base core facts of the case are in the yellow cover edition. Let's see, serial killer books. I've said this before, anything you can find by Harold Schechter. Harold Schechter did a series of books on killers from around the turn of the century, that is the 19th century, that are all very good. I really like Depraved. Depraved was the one about H.H. Holmes, one of the first sort of notable serial killers in America. And God, I've read so many serial killer books. If you can find one called The Angel of Death in regards to Randy Kraft, a little-known serial killer, one of my favorite true crime books, just because Randy Kraft is so like obscure at this point in time, but he's also was absolutely diabolical. A lot of, I mean, it's not to say that, killing people in atrocious ways is unique to him, but just the way that he was able to move through society and not get caught for as long as he did. Yeah. And the mystery of how many victims he actually had. Yeah. Interesting book. Thank you, Diesel Dave. Easy. ZZ Top. ZZ Top is better than the Beatles and Beach Boys.
Oh, I like ZZ Top. But ZZ Top, I mean, nah, I'll be nice. I'm sorry. I know we're at question time, but I just read this. Brian Stelter has come out and said that Trump not going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner is an attack on the press.
Of course it is. Poor Brian Stelter. Yeah. What would he say if Trump actually attended the Correspondents' Dinner?
It'd be an attack on the press.
It'd be an attack on the press, yeah. Let's see. Scribe.
You gotta be kidding me.
Uh-oh, Froggy says, Scribe, I'm a redhead as well. Oh, no. You're under 5 foot and you're a redhead? Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Just please, in this case, just don't make Alex Jones correct, okay? Otherwise, we're not going to have a future. Froggy.
But how them titties, though?
Oh, Lord.
I was asking about her friend, not her.
Frosted Glass says, thoughts on vicariously shilling streams through English majors. I don't have an opinion. Somehow I just don't have. RJ Bandsman with Scribe Light, worst character added to Mortal Kombat. I thought adding the alien was kind of stupid.
I thought it was appropriate. Because they were adding horror, very popular horror. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I know. It's just like, I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. I was hoping for The Thing from John Carpenter's The Thing, because there's so many different ways they could make that work in a combat situation. It could like Shang Tsung from like Mortal Kombat 2. It could like change into the other fighter and duplicate his moves for a few minutes or something, or a couple of seconds. I thought that'd be cool. Sad boy, Scribe Light, stop being such a Bilbo Baggins. Plus, did you guys ever heard a live stream called EFAP? I don't know how I'm being a Bilbo Baggins, and no, I've never heard of EFAP.
The hell does that even stand for?
I don't know. EFAP? Probably something dealing with masturbation. Frosted Glass, favorite MK character? Actually, I was always kind of partial to Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 2, where he could like steal somebody's soul. I always thought that was one of the at the time. I thought that was the coolest, sort of most grim end for fatality.
Wait, I thought they said favorite character.
Yeah, favorite character.
Oh, fucking Noob Saibot. He's a fucking beast. Noob Saibot has been my favorite for a long time.
You got a monkey?
I don't have one because I suck at the game. Yeah, I don't have one.
People used to get so mad when I picked Noob.
Oh, Froggy says that her friend loves me. Sweet.
Oh,
Love you back.
No.
Sweet.
Oh, Angry, did you say the second Sub-Zero? Because I'm about to say Noob is the original, which I didn't know at first. A lot of people didn't know that.
That's some lore right there.
Apparently, Noob is the original Sub-Zero.
I used to always play as Sub-Zero or Scorpion because they were the easiest to fight with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can punch in that game. That's it. I suck. I fucking suck at it. I really do.
Let's see. Ebony Williams, strangest thing said on any Lords of the Night stream. Yeah.
Fuck.
It's the strangest thing ever said. STA saying I would put meatloaf in my face.
Yeah, that's probably the oddest one that was ever said out loud.
Diesel Dave says, Scorpion, get over here. Sadistic Atheist, Scribe like TMI required for laughs. How many channels do you follow on Chatterbait? I don't even have. Do you have? I don't even know what that is. I'm not being. I think I've heard of it, but I've never looked at it.
Isn't Chatterbait the one with the random ones that you could go to, and it was always some dude jacking off?
Is that what that was? I thought it was. Wait, was that what?
I can't remember.
What's the one that starts with an O? Omegali or something?
Oh, no clue.
I thought there was one called that where it's like, okay, anyway, or like roulette or something. Anyway,
oh, chat roulette. Yeah, that's what that was.
Chat roulette. That's what it was. But wasn't there one called like Omegle or Omegali or something that was similar to that? Anyway,
probably. But
I don't know. I don't go to on those things. Totally not an NPC. Scribe Light, EFAP reviews movies and movie reviewers. Their streams go on like 5 hours though. Yeah.
Oh, you forgot to talk about your milestone on YouTube time, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. I meant to talk about that, but I forgot about it. So I got a notice today of one of my videos hit 10,000 views, and I was like, "What?" And it's our G.I. Jane review. The G.I. Jane movie review Monkey and I did about like a year ago now, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, today it hit over 10,000 views. It's the first video of mine that's ever gone. Well, I have very few videos that crack 1,000 to begin with. I have a handful that cracked more, and they're the oddest ones. Our G.I. Jane review, a video I did ages ago about Study Bay, where I don't even talk in it, which kind of makes me feel sad. But that one has like 5,000 or 6,000 views or something. Yeah. So anyway. If anybody here happened to watch the G.I. Jane review recently. Thanks for putting it over 10,000. I'm surprised and grateful. It's also a video that YouTube saw to demonetize.
Of course.
Of course. Early on, so unless somebody's watching it on YouTube Red or something, there's no advantage there. But hey, somebody's watching, so I appreciate that.
As I remember, that was probably my favorite one we did. I'd never seen the movie before.
Yeah.
And the conversation, that one just flowed very well. If you guys haven't seen it, go get him to 12,000.
Gorebag goes camping. Scribe, do you read fictional serial killer books like the works of Caleb Carr? Not particularly, because truth is stranger than fiction. And like fictional serial killer books. Yeah, I mean, after you've read a couple of true crime novels about real serial killers, fake serial killers don't really have the same kind of oomph. I don't know what to tell you, because that's all I got to say about that. Scriberstone, says Jack Gunsky. Oh yeah, like Milestone. RJ Bando says, Scribe, can you say goat thrapple? I just did. Let's see. Orpheus Tilo, Scribe, would you still be an English major if you could do college over? If I knew then what I know now, I probably would have slogged my way through getting an MBA, because at least having a master's of business would have opened up many more doors than a simple English major. Not because I'd be any smarter necessarily for it, but I'd know a bit more about some more important things that I could translate over into the working world. As it is, I didn't end up too shabbily with just an English major, because thankfully I was able to, diversify my talents over time. But it took probably longer than it would have if I had an MBA or something. So, let's see. Jack Gunsky. No, I'm not going to tell anybody anything. Let's see. Bodacious T, probably been asked favorite genre of music. Oh, all over the place. I don't know. It can be anything. I mean, I remember we were asked one time, if you were stranded on an island, you could only have one kind of music with you. What would it be? And I said, dark jazz would probably be it. Something like that.
Hair metal power ballads, man.
Hair metal.
Seriously, I love me a good power ballad.
Saying I love you is not.
I don't think that technically counts as a power ballad.
That is a power ballad, dude.
But it is a good song. No. I would do anything for love as a power ballad, man.
Oh, okay. All right. Nothing for you here. If you were made of pudding, what flavor would you be?
Ask your mama.
Mint chocolate chip.
Gross.
I would be vanilla, because I'm good. I taste nasty.
Oh, vanilla pudding?
Tastes nasty, baby.
That shit gross.
Put that in your mouth and suck it.
No, pass.
And Satsu's obviously chocolate. What are you talking about?
Obviously. I'm just are we really gonna go this route? Okay. All right. I guess we have to ask.
we gotta get it out there, man. Meat flavor. Faithless. What the fuck?
Meat flavor. Negative. I am a meat popsicle. Jack Gunsky. Okay. Hey, chat. Guess what? Over on Jack Gunsky's channel after the show, they'll be playing Jackbox games with special guest star Skeptalk. So go over to Jack Gunsky's channel. Just click the 3 little dots next to his little entry there on the chat. You can find his channel. Yay!
Oh, God.
Random American says, I thought Satsu would be raspberry. Ooh.
Raspberry pudding?
I guess.
It's not
That's
horrible.
nasty.
Orpheus Telos, Scribe Light, are you pretty fly for a white guy? No, I'm lame. I'm totes lame. And The Offspring, that band was so good. Still is, I think. Are they still performing? I don't even know if they still are, but those songs, man. Good set of songs. Also, Bad Religion. 21st Century Digital Boy. I love that fucking song. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Bad Religion, 21st Century Digital Boy. Froggy says, Satsu, what character would you be in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
The one that didn't die.
One
There
that
you go.
didn't die. Okay. Quinn the Cultist. Scribe Light, have you listened to dark country music? Oh, like urban country, that band? A little bit. I like sort of that sort of smoky country noir kind of stuff, like Nico Case or old school Nico Case. I guess she's kind of diversified lately, but yeah, it depends, but I like that kind of stuff. Nothing for you here. If you had the Infinity Gauntlet, what would you do with it? Oh God.
The possibilities are literally endless.
I would snap my fingers and get rid of all chicken chunks.
Nice. I would snap my fingers and wish it out of existence so that nobody could ever have that power.
Oh, there you go.
I would snap my fingers and get rid of my bad luck just to prove to Monkey that it exists.
Oh, I know what I do. I would snap my fingers and eliminate every deadly sexually transmitted disease, period.
Oh man. And then get rid of it. Like, yes.
Yeah, and then get rid of it. Yeah, and then it was like, okay, now everybody can have fun safely. Take away that fear and paranoia forever.
Could you imagine?
That would improve everything greatly, I think. Bluntly Blondie, Scribeblade, do you guys have tattoos? I have 5. I'm pretty sure neither of you guys have any.
I don't have any now.
No.
Yeah, I've got small ones. They're not like big designs or anything. I've got one on each forearm, one on each on the side of each calf, and then one on the center of between my shoulder blades. And they're not outlandish, and they're all placed in spots that are covered up by regular clothes because they're just for me mostly and not for display. Let's see, Mr. Monopoly, Ranting Monkey, did you get any presents last night?
Huh?
For your birthday, did you get any presents?
Oh, I mostly got I got socks, which I asked for. I got Steam cards, which I asked for. What else did I ask for? Oh, I'm going to see Infinity or Endgame this weekend, which I asked for.
Got my ticket.
And then I got 2 really nice picture frames. One that has a picture of Pumpkin holding my face. She likes to reach out and grab my beard.
Oh.
And another one that has both of the granddaughters in it that says, grandchildren fill the space in your heart you didn't know was empty.
Oh.
Yeah, they're both. Oh, I love them both so much. Yeah, mostly what I got was Steam gift cards. And and now I'm like, I have to wait for the summer sale, but it's too far away.
It'll be here before you know it. Chicago Mike, favorite live album. This is going to be a weird one, but this came up a while back when somebody was talking about they're arguing over which was better, the unplugged version of Alice in Chains or the unplugged version of Nirvana. And as much as I love Alice in Chains, Nirvana took that one. But actually, of all the unplugged ones, I think the best album that ever came out of Unplugged, honestly, is 10,000 Maniacs. I know it sounds weird, but man, they nailed those songs, and I still have that album, and I love that album.
I don't actually listen to live albums most of the time because they suck. The only band that I can think of right offhand that is really good live, they sound like their studio version, is 3 Doors Down. It is amazing how close they are to the recording.
Yeah, that's why I always have a problem with most live performances, is because I'm used to the studio version first.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like, not all, like Pearl Jam sounds great live. Nirvana sounded great live and unplugged, and Alice in Chains was really good too. But most bands that I hear live, I'm always kind of disappointed because it doesn't quite sound the same, or the singer isn't as good live as they are sort of when they're produced.
That's the problem most of the time, is the singer. It's just, you realize how produced they are.
Yeah, or they're just good, like if they're in a studio, like they're a good studio singer, but trying to do it live, it doesn't quite translate. Gorbeg goes camping. Scribe, like, good point. I've read many a true crime book, and it's hard to top the real craziness. I was just curious as I had read Carr's books and found them a decent read. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, are you talking about the Alienist? Was that Caleb Carr, or am I forgetting? I'm not saying that there aren't good books out there that are about serial killers or like sort of fictional takes on Jack the Ripper and that kind of stuff that can't be good. I just don't generally, gravitate automatically towards fictional books that I know are about, concerned serial killers, because it's more like, yeah, but I could go read about BTK. I could go read about Jeffrey Dahmer, and those things are, like I say, truth is stranger than fiction. Let's see, we got 6 minutes left. Gen T Maxi, if you gents were to create a shot-based of your YouTube name, what booze would be in it? Oh, a Scribe light? God. Oh, let's see. Well, I just because of the name, probably Maker's Mark. For some reason, that seems fitting. And I don't know. Dr. Pepper.
Mine would be like tequila and tequila.
It would be a sake with 2 pennies in the bottom of it.
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
Let's see. Orpheus Teal, Scribe going to keep up with the MCU for the next 10 years, or is exhaust setting in for Marvel movies? It'll depend. I mean, first off, we have to see what happens with Endgame. And it'll really depend on what characters they decide to bring in or continue on afterwards. I mean, obviously, we're going to get a Black Panther sequel. We're getting a Spider-Man sequel. There's going to be the TV shows on Disney Plus, which is going to continue things. I'm still waiting to see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 6 and apparently season 7. That show grows on you once you can binge it. I'll just say it was a harder slog when it was just every week, but once you could start binging it on Netflix, it became a much cooler show. It'll depend. I mean, I'll probably not go and see every movie like I used to. I've stopped that habit recently because it really depends on what characters they bring up. They've brought up almost all the ones that I really do care about at this point. There may be some side ones, or if they decide to make like a Blade reboot or a Ghost Rider reboot or something else where a character that I really do like. But with the Sony stuff, and they're going to be doing Morbius soon, which is, and then their Venom sequels. And yeah, it'll really depend on whether or not it's a movie that I really want to see. But more importantly, is it a character that I want to see done in that way? So that's me.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people like this. This is pretty much the end of it. Like, how do you know? You don't even know what's coming next.
Yeah. I mean, we have hints, but yeah.
A lot of people I know are saying that it's the end of it for them, where they're like, it stops here for me. Because they're like, Brie Larson's going to be the face of Marvel after this. Then I'm stopping here.
Yeah, so. But Iron Man was, quote unquote, the face of the first set, and he wasn't in every movie. There was a connective here and there with him or Stark Technologies and stuff, but there will be individual movies for individual characters that have little to nothing to do with Miss Marvel or whatever, Captain Marvel, if you care. I'm more looking forward to the day where we finally get a MCU Doctor Doom and a good version of the Fantastic Four. Because if there's one thing that I know in my heart the people at Disney and Marvel could do way better than we've seen anywhere else, it's Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom especially. Because, man, Doom has got to come in at some point. That's what I'm waiting for.
That's not even counting the fact that they can now bring the X-Men in.
Conceivably. Yeah, they can start moving mutants in. I would hope that there's going to be some sort of artistic conceit somewhere out of whatever happens in Endgame that will open the door for mutants or something to that effect. Because they've always still kept Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's powers like, oh, they came from the Infinity Stone. Right. Did they come from the Infinity Stone, or were they just sort of like activated by the Infinity Stone? They've always kept that kind of ambiguous because I think they want to leave the door open. But I guess
Yeah, they
we'll
have
see.
so much they can do with the MCU that's not just the Avengers.
Here's the other thing, too, though. Speaking of Scarlet Witch, if you guys know your comic book lore, you know that at one point the Scarlet Witch went insane and she, with her powers, eliminated the existence of all mutants. She removed mutants from existence, essentially. Now, since she's getting her own show with the Vision, and if you know your lore, the kind of events that led up to her going insane, I don't know that they might not pull a switch and say her powers go nuts and she wants more people so she doesn't feel alone, or she misses her brother or something, and that unleashes a whole change into things. I don't know that that's going to happen. That's just a guess. We'll see what we see. But either way, guys, that brings us to the top of the hour and the end of the show. So I want to thank you all for joining us as you do every night. You guys are far and away the best audience on any stream in the universe. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though obviously we have the best behaved audience in the universe. And everybody, holy cow, thank you so much for your generosity tonight. I really do appreciate the donations. It'll all go towards Goldfish and Dr. Pepper, which is slowly eating away at my teeth and my bones. But hey, live it up while you can. Remember, guys, tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel. Oh, wait, are we switching again?
No, we're back to normal.
Okay, back to normal. Okay, just make sure. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow night, as usual schedule, we're back to Monkey's channel at the usual time. And otherwise, Satsu, Monkey, thank you for joining me as always. Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Fuck off.
You're so pleasant.
I am. I'm a pleasant son of a bitch.
All right. And of course, today's secret word is spanking.
Okay.